Welcome to the first episode of Season 3 of Show Em The Dore podcast, the only podcast where the next time we will play sports is in the over 30 men's dodgeball league. My name is Willem. That's Chris. I'll let our special guest introduce himself.
Hi, my name is David Adamas, and I actually run the Barstool Vandy accounts. Twitter and the Instagram.
So we're really excited to have David on. This is somewhat of a partnership, not like official by any means, because we can't say that. But we're really excited to have David on. You know, we're going to be working with him throughout this semester with different athlete connections, just overall building like a greater presence online, which we're really, really excited about.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna kick her off here. We're gonna talk about two things in this. We're gonna talk about your career as a Barstool person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the sports of this year. So first, you are a fifth-year senior. What are you majoring in? I don't know if I asked.
I'm actually doing the economics and history interdisciplinary major.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Word. What are you gonna do with that?
I'm looking to go into the investment banking field, like in either IB or wealth management, or foreign exchange currency is also something that like really passion of mine. So
He about that money.
So
So that's dope. You said before we were filming you started running the Barstool account 3 years ago.
yeah, I actually 2019. I remember I got it the summer going into that fall semester, and I just saw like I remember I had a little bit of communication with the people who ran the account before me, and they gave me some tips and some advice on just like what to post, what to stay away from, and I just kind of one of the things I tried to focus on was just picking up like the amount of posts that we put up, because I saw it would be like, oh, it would be once a while every funny post, and this is no disrespect to them because I know they did a great job. They were actually the starters of it, and how tough they worked to build everything up. Yeah. But I just thought we could post a little bit more. So I tried to post at least once or twice a day, sometimes maybe 3 times a day if it was a weekend, and just to get that interaction with the Vanderbilt community and get people more interested in following the accounts.
Yeah. So like, what was the process like, you know, becoming that Barstool guy, and then, you know, throughout those changes, did you start to see like immediate growth, or was it more of like a slow developing kind of thing?
So I remember the day I got the account, I was hanging out.
Hype?
I was hanging out with some friends of mine, and I saw they posted on the Instagram or the Twitter account, I believe it was, that they were looking for somebody new to run the accounts. So I sent them a DM, and they told me to email their supervisor. I emailed him, and we got in connection. And he's like, "Here you go." And here's the login and password. I'm not gonna say what they are, but I still remember what the password was.
Say exactly what they are, like word for word.
It's something.
Spell it out, caps and lowercase.
It's something funny. But so I logged in. I was just like, it's crazy, and my friends didn't believe me. I was like, look, I control these accounts now, and they're just like, oh my god, that's crazy. But so like you're saying, when I started posting, I just know the first thing I noticed was just like, for a while I just didn't turn off the notifications for like Instagram likes on my phone. So no matter where I was, I would just be like random like posts blowing up, like liking likes, like usually more likes than I would get on anything on like my personal accounts. But I really started to see that, and then the followers started to come after, because I guess people were like, oh, they're consistently, not all of them, I'm gonna lie, some of them were misses. Not everything I posted was top tier comedy, but I was just like, it's stupid, it's a funny meme. But I guess it was good enough that I started to see the numbers start to grow, and then I was like, oh, this is something that like I can take more seriously and try and devote more time to.
Yeah, and that must have been like, I mean, you must be pretty proud of that, you know, taking it from maybe not like the highest level of a following into like it's a pretty considerable following. You're at like 15K right now.
Yeah, and I think it was just under 5,000. So see, just like we talked about that earlier, and even just hearing that number today, I was just like, that didn't sound real.
I can't imagine 15,000 of anything, much less like people that.
That's
yeah. But like, so getting into Barstool, like, were you just like always into that kind of like funnier brand of sports, or like what made you like? Did you always follow Barstool accounts growing up?
So I remember it was my freshman year here where I was just like, I listened to music. I would usually just like listen to music when I was walking to and from classes or going when I was studying something. And I'm like, let me just look at like things that I can listen to that like what's funny podcasts. And one of my friends recommended Pardon My Take to me. So which is Big Cat and PFT, and it's a Barstool Sports podcast. Shout out to them. They're hilarious. A million times funnier than I will ever be.
Now you're working your way up.
They, funny enough, not sidetracked, but Big Cat, if you guys don't know, he's a huge Chicago Bears fan, and they just had an episode recently where he interviewed Aaron Rodgers, and it was just so tense but like funny between them, and it was a great time. But
that poor guy.
But sorry, what was the question again?
It was like, you know, growing up, like, you watch
yeah, so that really got me interested into their content, and then I just started listening to like some other podcasts. Like there's another one, KFC Radio, which is two other hilarious guys that I got to meet them in the office once. They're both hilarious, and I just got more and more of a following for it. And I remember I would always like, even when the guys who ran the account before me, even before I even knew that I would end up getting it, I would just always like their posts. I was like, oh, this is funny. This is things that are going on campus. And I think that just really is what got me interested into a Barstool and like that brand of comedy.
No, for sure. And so, like, was there a specific moment for the 3 years that you've had it that you were like, this is like going to continue like well beyond me? Or is it just like something that you've been working on every single day and not really thinking about like the greater scheme of things?
The first moment where I realized that like, wow, this is something real was pretty early into the account. Cause now that I mentioned it, I remember it. I got the account in that June before the summer before the semester started. And they're like, we need somebody to live tweet the College World Series game. And it was like, that was the year we all know they won. I still remember being in my living room watching that game.
I was like, did Barstool send you?
Yeah, no, I wish. I still have yet to make it out to Omaha, and I'm like, I need to go. You got it. Yeah, everybody I know who's gone is like, it's the craziest experience, like especially watching Vanderbilt there. But I remember live tweeting it and like putting out that video and that like pictures from after, and like those were like the first post I had that just like really blew up. I was just like, wow, like that. Like I just watched our team win a national championship, and this happened too. And I was like, this is something that it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be something that like I'm really gonna enjoy doing.
That's awesome. So like, you know, you had been talking to us specifically like before the podcast about like, you know, you'd been posting a lot, but you didn't have like a face to the brand.
Yeah.
And so like, what made you want to make a face to the brand?
Honestly, I was just like, I think it'll be more not engagement, but like, I think it'll be a better time being able to like engage with the community and just being like, oh, you should mention this aspect of sports, or like, oh, I have this funny post that you can put up, like, oh, send it to me. And I think it'll just be I think it'll be able to better represent the community and just like what I post, and just be able to like put out just better content for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah, it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not just some account that posts funny
Vandy stuff. It's like if you know
you're a guy who goes to Vandy too. It's more relatable.
Exactly.
Like so you can really feel it. That's so sick.
I know for us, like when we started this, hold on, let's tell the story of how we started this podcast real quick.
Okay, I'm excited to hear this.
Okay, yeah, this isn't our story. This is not our episode, but still, what happened was it was the spring of 2021.
Yep.
And so it was like when you saw like the no-hitter, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the right semester.
Yeah, it is.
And
it was.
Yeah, and so we were watching baseball. And I had gone to the bathroom. I came back out and I was like, Willem, we got to start a podcast about sports, because we talk about sports every day. And I was like, it's going to be called Show Em The Dore. And he was like, why? I'm like, because it's the apostrophe D-O-R-E. It's a bad pun. They'll love it.
Nothing better than a bad pun.
Yeah, that's all podcasts. Yeah. But so like since then, like we just wanted to. We felt like Vanderbilt sports isn't like the biggest market in the world, which I mean, other than baseball, true. But we felt like there wasn't enough of like a media outlet that kind of covered all of like the little things. Like, we plan on having, different women's basketball players, different like smaller market, even sports. And so I remember when you had DM'd Willem on the Instagram account, you were like, we're trying to like build a community of Vanderbilt sports.
Yeah.
And so I felt like that was like a really solid like.
I was actually thinking about that the other day because I saw something, I think it was on TikTok, and it was just like, Vanderbilt doesn't deserve like the city of Nashville for sports. And it was just like, see, like the fact that somebody would even say that is just like, we won a national title 3 years ago, and like people.
How many SEC schools have even done that?
Yeah, besides Georgia, Alabama,
Mississippi State,
and that's it.
That's it.
So like people seem to forget.
Yeah, just because baseball isn't like
the biggest market, and like that's one thing I've tried to focus on, especially the last few runs we've had in the college World Series, where it's just like it's one of the fastest growing markets in sports is college baseball. So like we need to be able to just like not capitalize off that, but like and market our school for one of the sports that we do best.
Yeah. No, and I definitely feel like I agree entirely with like the market in college baseball, because I mean I didn't watch a game of college baseball before I got to Vandy, just to be entirely honest. And now like I go back home to Knoxville where I'm from, and obviously UT had like a great run this past year, but like none of these people had watched college baseball before last year, maybe the year before. Like I was like, this is a growing market and it's building a fan base, which is awesome. But at the same time, like this is entirely because people are successful. And then in the South, when you're successful, you build.
If you're successful in almost any sport here, people will follow.
Yeah, if we had we had a great cricket team, we would be following it. If Alabama had a wonderful swimming team, like that would be a huge thing. Not to say those are just smaller sports in general. But anyway.
Success breeds following and people like that.
Yeah.
But it's really easy.
There's nothing people love more than a winner.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's really easy, especially when we don't win games sometimes, for people even at Vanderbilt to trash talk our own team.
Right.
So like part of our goal is to show the whole thing, you know what I mean? And not like diss the people and the programs and everything.
Right.
Because like you hear all the time, like people are like Vanderbilt sucks, the football team's terrible,
exactly.
Vanderbilt sucks, blah, blah, blah.
Like for example, look at our basketball team last year. We went
to the NIT.
We got to the quarterfinals.
And we lost to the champion.
I remember being at the game. We played Dayton. We played Dayton at home.
That was a great game.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Went into overtime. Scottie Pippen put up I think it was 30 or 30 something. I was Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah, of course. The dad was on the court.
Yeah, balling out.
No, that was a great game. I remember we were there and Jordan got the steal at the end, and I was going crazy.
We were with my parents at that game.
Yeah,
that's
that was you guys were there too. That was what a game.
And the Austin P game even too.
Yeah.
Had
Belmont.
That was who I was gonna say.
The SEC run, I think we should have beat Kentucky.
Oh my gosh, we should have beat Kentucky.
I was furious.
Oh my god.
We have we have more success than people would think. And what Clark Lee's doing with the football program is phenomenal.
I believe
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Our women's basketball team's going to do really well because we've got solid players. We've got a wonderful coach in Coach Ralph. I think the public view of Vanderbilt sports is about 5 years in the past in terms of our football team is only getting better. Our basketball team is only getting better. Our baseball team had a bit of a rough patch last year, but we're a top team.
We're still the most successful
Exactly.
baseball program of the last how many years?
We also lost two of the best pitchers to ever play in college baseball in 1 year.
I think I remember seeing stats that when Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker played together, that the only teammate pitchers that had ever put up college numbers like that ever were Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole when they pitched. I think you were at UCLA. Yeah. And it was the fact that they're even in mention with two guys who have both won Cy Youngs. And it's just
absolutely insane.
They're on the same team. I'm so excited they're on the same team. I'm not a big MLB guy.
I'm scared. I'm scared for the league in 3 years when they come out.
Yeah, when they
less than that probably.
Yeah.
Gosh, Jack.
Jeez, I hate the Rangers too, so it's tough that I don't like them, and they're both there, so now I have to like them.
They're one of my teams now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's what stinks whenever a Vanderbilt player goes to the Yankees, because I'm just
You're like, I have to like Spencer Jones.
Yeah, like
no,
Spencer's a great
and I love Spencer
Spencer's
Jones.
a great
I love
guy.
Spencer Jones.
I texted him on draft night and talked to him.
Yeah,
but like the Yankees.
Yeah,
Come on. But it's phenomenal for him. He's doing well.
No.
I've heard him being compared to Aaron Judge.
I'm so excited to see just like where his career goes. And same with Kumar and Jack and with everybody who goes in the MLB. I just saw maybe within the last few weeks, JJ Bleday just got called up by the Marlins, and he's hit his first few home runs, and it's just like great to see a guy like that succeed.
He had a double on his first at bat, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, he got walked, and then it was
that game. I know it was that game, and a guy like Kyle Wright, who's pitching for the Braves now, who's I think it was like a 4th or 5th or 6th pick over.
Walker Buehler.
Yeah, another guy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see him go up there, but I think we're getting ahead of ourselves here because we're getting into the thing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna break it down by sport. So first, football season's coming up here. What are you most excited to see?
I'm just looking forward to see. I think we're gonna compete this year for sure. I think there's gonna be a lot of close games that a lot of people aren't expecting us to be in. That it's gonna be a fourth quarter and it's gonna be a 1 or 2 possession game, and be like, oh, like we're alive here. And I think for Clark Lee taking over a program for the first year, which I'm very excited to see him. I think he's gonna do wonders with the program. I'm expecting him to turn it around over the next few years. I'm not. Nobody comes in as a first-year coach and you expect immediate success.
Yeah.
But I think he has a plan, and I think the key is just going to be patience. Where it's going to, like, if we see steady progress year in year, we can't really ask. You can't really ask for more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're improving year after year, like that's all you can ask for. That's the goal for a program.
The only team that doesn't need to improve year after year is Alabama.
Yeah.
If anybody else isn't improving year after year, they're failing.
Yeah.
So that's all we have to do. We're not saying, okay, Clark Lee, take this team who won no games and go win 10 games.
Yeah, no.
We're not saying that. It's win 2 games, then win 4 games, win 6, get to a bowl game, compete in bowl games, win. It's a long process. And you can't expect to see so much success instantly. But with what we've heard and what we've talked to with the people, it seems like everything's different. Not to disrespect Derek Mason and his program at all, but like I think it was Ben when we were talking to him. Yeah. He was like, everything's different.
Yeah, I've heard like, just
it got real.
I've heard just there was a culture change.
Yeah.
Right. Just
in the locker room, feels like a business.
Every single thing they do is with a purpose.
It almost feels like it used to be intramural where people are just kind of messing around, having fun, and now it's like, all right, it's time to compete in the SEC.
We're here.
Like film, they take seriously. Nutrition, they have new people.
Yeah.
It's all like it's an investment to this big program. It's real now.
Imagine if Chris Pierce was still here with the new nutrition crew. Oh my God, that man was huge always.
Chris Pierce had his first few receptions in the preseason.
I saw Alan George. He's playing for Cincinnati now. He's a cornerback. Yeah, he had a really nice. I saw the clip on Instagram. I think it was the really nice one-handed deflection on a route. It was beautiful.
It's so cool to see those guys like do stuff like that. Like Chris Pierce, we saw him a couple times. I think. Yeah. Like walking around campus, we'd see this.
I saw Jack Leiter
huge
on campus,
dude
like last year.
Exactly, and then seeing them do these things like that, absolutely insane. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Like when they showed the video of like Jack talking to all these people, like there's a picture of him talking to Shohei Ohtani, and I'm like, I talked to that guy. We interviewed that guy who's in that picture with Ohtani, and it's insane to think that like. We know
that.
It's so weird, and it's incredible to watch them like do so well from Vanderbilt, which is another thing like we don't get the respect we need because we're putting out guys that do well.
One guy in the NFL, Zach Cunningham, he's one of, in my opinion, one of the top linebackers in the league. He's not a great coverage guy, but in terms of run stopping, he's an amazing player, and he went to Vanderbilt. He was taken the second round. That was when
we had a Super Bowl champion a few years ago, Kershawn Vaughn.
Oh, Kershawn. He didn't play, but
he's still
he was a force. I remember watching him play. Like he got some touches during the season, but you could even see just like he's a hell of a player.
I think that with how the Fournette situation's going, he might get
more reps.
He's getting older. He's progressing.
Yeah. Going back to football, I know that we're a podcast of side tangents. Yeah. But back to football, I think our ceiling is 4 wins for Vandy. And I'm not trying to, like, I hope they exceed that. But, like, I'm trying to be realistic in Clark Lee's second year with the talent that he was given and what he's building.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I see us with wins over Hawaii and Akron. I don't know if I believe in the Northern Illinois win because they're actually a decent team. But I think that we actually have a chance against Florida because of how terrible Florida is going to be this year.
I think we were talking about this earlier because, like you said, you're from Knoxville, you're a Tennessee fan. I was just saying I think Florida beats Tennessee. I think Florida is one of the more underrated programs in the country this year.
But Florida is going to be the worst team in the SEC East other than Vandy. I fully believe that. Actually,
we'll come back to that a few weeks into this season.
I just, like, their coach isn't good. They lost all their players. Like, they all transferred out. It's going to be like it's going to be like the LSU basketball of football this year.
Oh goodness.
It's like that. It's legitimately like the same thing.
But like you said, you think our ceiling is 4 wins?
Maybe not ceiling.
I'm hopeful. Not ceiling. But if we win 4 games this year,
I would be so happy.
I would be that would get me so much more excited for next season because I'm like, okay, we're building something. Like, especially if those 4 wins, like, and I'm sure the games we lose aren't going to be
I mean, we were
crazy
competitive in Ole Miss last year. We were competitive in Ole Miss, Missouri, and South Carolina last year.
And Ole Miss was incredible.
Yeah.
I hate Ole Miss. I hate them.
But they were a top.
But they were a
team,
good team.
They were.
And we hung with them for a while.
Yeah.
I think my hot take of football is that we will be competitive against Kentucky this year in a serious way.
Oh, that'll be fine.
Oh,
I think Kentucky's terrible. I'm telling you, I went to high school in Kentucky.
Okay.
So I have a lot of friends that go to the University of Kentucky, and I'm telling you all right now, your football team.
So 2 questions. 1, how do you feel about Louisville?
I like Louisville.
Okay.
You will.
2, by competitive, so you're saying like
I think we'll beat them.
You think we beat?
I think we win.
We think we beat
I
them?
think we beat them.
I was gonna say
Will Levens is not good.
I was gonna say, do you think I could see it being like 4th quarter game. We go into the we go into 4th quarter down by 7, and it ends a 1 possession game. And it ends a 1 possession game either way.
Is it home or at Kroger Field?
I don't care. Kroger sucks. the brand of Kroger.
Yeah.
The field, I'm sure, is fine.
Wasn't there a whole controversy at Kentucky recently about Calipari saying they're a basketball school? I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said something where he's like they're a basketball school, and then Will Levis said something or something.
Will Levis is not good.
I don't believe in him.
They
had him as a Heisman candidate.
Yeah,
in something we saw above Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker is a top 2 quarterback in the SEC. I will say, I think that it's. You're looking at me like that's ridiculous.
No. I was about to ask if you could do me a favor and pull up the schedule so we can look at it. We can look at it game by game.
Are we looking at like Vandy's?
Yeah, Vandy's. So we can see.
This is a good idea.
Yeah. Just so we can see like how.
So yeah, I'll break it down game by game.
Yeah.
Hawaii dub.
Yeah. I looked at the betting lines for it and saw we were the favorite, and I'm like, that really made me want to take them because I'm like,
if we're the favorite,
I'm like because 1, we're the favorite, and 2, that means so many people are gonna look at that and go, "Oh, it's Vanderbilt." Like that, like Hawaii will beat them. It's no problem. And like,
yeah,
I think 1 that's gonna light a fire under the team, and 2,
that's just wrong.
Vegas has to know something we don't too.
I've never bet on a sports event before, but I would bet that we cover the spread versus Hawaii.
I would take that too.
We're -8 right now.
-8.
Yeah, because they're like a borderline FCS team.
I think we win by 2. I'll predict that right now. I think we win by 2 possessions in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I think we win by 14.
We got that on tape.
Yeah.
When the time comes, we can either trash you or hail you as a hero.
Is that game this Saturday or next Saturday?
It's this Saturday.
It's this Saturday?
Yeah,
it's 27th.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
It's like 9:30 p.m. Central Time though.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's in Hawaii.
Yeah. Hawaii is just not good.
How about what are you guys doing Saturday?
Willem, I think, has something.
I have a thing Saturday.
But versus Elon, we're gonna beat them. Elon is not a good team.
Okay, so it's 2 wins.
2 wins so far.
I think we start off 2-0 easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We then go versus Wake Forest 22.
We're
gonna lose that game.
They're ranked going into the season. What, 22.
And that's gonna be huge because that's the game SEC Nation.
Yeah, SEC Nation's coming to Vandy.
Yeah.
The last time we got a primetime game was versus Alabama where we lost 65-0.
Yeah. Was that the year of Jalen Hurts and Tua?
Yeah.
And
jeez.
Of they hit a quarterback room of 3 quarterbacks who are all starters in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Of Jalen, Tua, and Mac Jones.
Jeez.
What a team.
I think that could It's such a big deal.
So we'll go on the conservative side. We'll say 2-1 after Wake Forest.
I think that's not. I think that's more realistic than conservative. But
because like I'm saying, we're not gonna. I don't think we beat that.
I don't think we beat Wake Forest. I think their offense is spectacular. Their defense is kind of bad, but like they have his last name's Clausen, who is their offensive coordinator.
So if we lose that game, but you see great moments from the offense in that game, you look at that game and go, okay. We might have lost because their offense is, like you said, is spectacular, but we showed bright spots.
You come away with
something. If we hold them under 28 points, I will consider that a victory in my mind.
Okay.
Like the thing is that offense is much like Tennessee's, where it's very up tempo, score a lot of points.
Yeah.
Like that
score
kind of
fast,
stuff.
score often.
Yeah. And if we can hold them under 4 touchdowns, I will consider that a good game.
Yeah.
At Northern Illinois.
I think that's a W.
Northern Illinois, they won the MAC last year.
They won the MAC?
Yeah.
That's like saying they won the WCC, Chris.
The MAC is
a little bit more. The MAC is a little bit more competitive. I'll respect the MAC.
Who'd they beat?
Let me look at their schedule last year.
Isn't Akron in the MAC?
Aren't they like the Salukis or something?
They're the Huskies.
They're the Huskies. Who are the Salukis?
I thought UConn was
That's
the
Southern
Huskies.
Illinois.
They are. Wait, maybe I might be wrong. Hold on. Northern Illinois schedule 2021.
I just think this is a W. I can't imagine.
Okay, so these are definitely basketball scores. All
right. So
I don't think so.
So Willem and I both say that's a win.
First in MAC West.
So we say 3 wins so far. Chris can say 2.
I'm saying
Chris
2.
is gonna say 2-2. We'll say 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they beat last year. They beat Georgia Tech, lost to Wyoming, lost to Michigan, obviously, but beat Maine, beat Eastern Michigan, beat Toledo, beat Bowling Green, beat Central Michigan, lost to Kent State, beat Ball State, beat Buffalo, lost to Western Michigan by a lot, actually, beat Kent State, and then they lost to Coastal Carolina by 6 points in the Cure Bowl.
I don't see that track record as a team
that's not
wins.
as impressive as I thought, but
that's like they're playing some bum
I also
teams.
don't think
They're winning half of
our schedule last season is indicative of a super big winner.
So that game I think is, I guess, more of a coin toss than I thought.
That's a toss up, but I'm still,
even if we lose, we're still 2-2 through week 4.
Yeah, so, at Alabama.
Ooh.
That's a question. I hate to say this question by how many.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it above or less than 50?
I think that if we were competitive into halftime, that's a victory for me.
What do you define competitive?
If we're down 3,
are we down 4 scores?
If we're down 3 scores at halftime,
I'm saying 2 scores. If
no,
we're within 4, that's what I'm saying.
I think it's gonna be at least 21.
No, but I'm saying it's a good game if we're in 2 scores, because I don't envision that being a good game.
The question is, how long do we not go to classes for if we win that game?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
How long do we riot?
The thing is Vandy will take the week off. We win that game.
Yep.
It was just
Jeremiah will die. It'll be
It's
over.
also in Tuscaloosa. Do you know how embarrassing that would be?
Yeah.
They'd burn the town to the ground.
Okay, so versus Ole Miss.
That's an L.
I think that's
we just said we were competitive against them last year.
A competitive game.
We were just talking about that before.
Well, who's their quarterback now?
We don't know. They
lost
they lost Matt Corral.
I love Matt Corral, but I hate their team.
I actually, fun fact, I went to Patriots training camp about a week ago. They had a joint practice with the Panthers because they were. Yeah, I saw him. I saw it was like right before they announced Baker got the starting job, and I got to see Baker and Darnold, and I saw Matt Corral, and he actually didn't look that bad.
No, Matt Corral's a good quarterback.
I love Matt Corral.
Yeah.
We saw him play at Tennessee.
Yeah, we did. We went to the Tennessee Ole Miss game where Tennessee threw all the stuff on the field.
Oh,
it was so fun.
Oh my god!
It was one of the best games I've ever been to.
Yeah, it was one of the better moments.
We deserved to win that game.
One of my buddies goes to University of Florida, and he was at the game that they with the shoe against.
LSU?
Yeah, against LSU.
Oh my god! Well, do you know that game?
No.
So Florida played LSU one time, and like Florida had stopped LSU on the final drive, and they were like up 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And like the cornerback that stopped the final play was like so hype. I think he was even career alum. Wasn't it him?
I thought it was like Marco something.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think it was like Marco something.
But he's in the NFL.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But
he took off his shoe.
He took off the LSU guy's shoe
and
threw it and got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and lost them the game.
Yeah.
No way. He took the other guy's shoe
and threw it.
Do you know how difficult that must be?
Well, no, I think it came off during the play. I think he picked it up and threw it.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, if he got it off his foot, that's not.
No.
I'd toss somebody's shoe. If it's on the ground, I'm tossing their shoe.
Yeah. Well, but it was like a really foggy game.
You gotta keep yourself composed.
Yeah. But so versus Ole Miss, I think that we lose, but I think it's very competitive.
Yeah. If you see a competitive game, that's a win.
Yeah.
But I think it's an L on the score.
We have a rough 3-game stretch with Alabama, Ole Miss, and then at Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Georgia, we're gonna lose to as well. I think it's the same question of Alabama.
By how much?
I'm going to give it I think Georgia's not going to be that good this year.
Okay, so my question was going to be, who do you think we lose to by less against?
We are closer versus Georgia than Alabama.
We're closer to Georgia.
Georgia lost like of their 22 starters, they lost like 14 of them.
Georgia doesn't have the reload power year by year that Alabama has.
Oh, that's not true. I think Georgia has insane reload power, but like, I guess versus Alabama.
Do we think
nobody has it like
do we
Alabama.
think Kirby Smart broke the curse of like no Saban assistant coach has ever beat him in the championship except before last year?
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think Nick Saban's just that guy.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like a curse. I think Georgia will do great this year. I think they'll be a top 15 team, but I don't think they're making it to the playoff.
Do you think they make it to the SEC championship against Alabama?
Well, who would beat them?
Tennessee.
Oh, stop it. Come on,
No,
you can't
They make it to the SEC championship, yes. And I think they lose. I think they drop a loss somewhere else if it's like another SEC West team like Texas A&M.
Yeah,
A&M.
I feel like A&M's a fraud every year.
What a weird program.
I just don't think Georgia is going to be as good as everyone thinks they are this year. I don't believe in Stetson Bennett for 1 second. I think he's average at best, and he had the best supporting cast around him.
Yeah, I think he just played the game of his life last year.
Well, I don't even think he played a great game. Like the thing is, Stetson Bennett is just your average like number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they sat, oh God, who is that? Like the really, really good quarterback that Georgia had that transferred.
I can't remember his name.
You know who I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
They had like a 5-star. He was like number 1 in the class of something, and they sat him behind Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett's a phenomenal name, but
Stetson Bennett the 4th. I think that makes it so much better.
Yeah,
that makes it so much better.
That's it. I start him over anybody with a name like that.
The thing is,
but he's not good.
He is the average like 2008 Alabama quarterback. Like
AJ McCarron.
He's AJ McCarron's like remnant.
I just had a conversation with somebody today, and AJ McCarron came up. He's like, never forget AJ McCarron won like 3 or like played it. I don't know if he won all 3. I think did he win all 3 or did he play 3?
I think he won 2.
I think he won 2, but played 3.
And he is the most average guy there ever has been.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, when you throw to guys like Julio and like
he had like I remember there was the thing of they had like 4 running backs who were all starters in the NFL within the next 2 years.
It was like TJ Yeldon,
Mark Ingram,
and
like 2 other guys, but it was just the cast he had.
Yeah, and that's what happened with Georgia last year, and they lost all of their wide receivers, all of their running backs, all of their defensive line, most of their cornerbacks. Like I don't think they're going to be as good as people think they are this year.
Do you think they're a 2-loss program or 3-loss program?
I'd have to look at their schedule.
We'll go through the Vandy schedules.
Yeah. We'll talk about Georgia later.
So beyond Georgia,
at Missouri, I think that's a dub.
I think it's a dub too. I hate Missouri.
I think for the last few years we've had Missouri's number. Like
Missouri is terrible.
If we're not beating Missouri,
we should.
Then we're not seeing progress.
All right, so that's 4.
3.
I'm saying that's 4.
Yeah, if they beat Northern Illinois, that's 4. That's 4.
I think that's 3. I don't think they beat Northern Illinois, but I think they do beat Missouri. I think we get into SEC form. Versus South Carolina, I think is close, but I think we lose.
I think we lose that game by 2 scores.
Yeah, I think as well.
I think South Carolina.
I think South Carolina's a bit more.
We almost beat them last season, except for like a really colossal.
I mean, I could see. I meant like closer, like 1 score, and then they score like a garbage time touchdown, maybe.
Okay.
I believe in South Carolina a little more than.
I believe in South Carolina more than Missouri for sure.
A word.
I don't believe in Spencer Rattler at all though.
Spencer Rattler,
who is now their starting quarterback.
I don't know. I feel like he could be.
He just seems like such a bad locker room guy that I think he is going to like ruin South Carolina.
Just like he's going to be just like toxic in the locker room.
I also like obviously this is all barring injuries, which
Injuries, schminjuries, they're not gonna happen.
At Kentucky, I think we lose.
I think that's a dub. I'm saying that's 5 wins there. Y'all can disagree with me.
Do you think we're gonna beat Kentucky?
Yeah. Is that?
I think. Do you think there's a better chance we beat South Carolina or Kentucky?
South Carolina.
I think. I was
For some reason, I'm saying Kentucky.
I was gonna say I think we win one of those games. When you mentioned we have those games back to back, are those both on the road?
We win one
versus South Carolina at Kentucky. I think
we beat South Carolina. I think we beat South Carolina. I'll say that right now. We're 5 wins. We beat South Carolina.
I think of the Missouri, South Carolina, Kentucky 3 games, we
win 2. I'm saying we win 2.
I think we win 1.
I don't care who it is. I think we win 2.
The only reason I think we might win 2 is because we have a bye week before South Carolina. So we'll be rested and game planned for South Carolina. But I think we lose to Kentucky. If we win 2, it's Missouri and South Carolina.
That's what I was gonna say. If I'm going on the optimistic side, hopefully I'm not. We don't look at this at the end of the year and go, wow, look how wrong we were.
I'm a little bit more conservative when it comes to Vandy wins, but I think all those games will be competitive.
This is conservative.
Oh god. Versus Florida. I think that is our best chance for an SECW. I think they're worse than Missouri. I think they are going to be worse than Missouri. Florida. I think Florida will be the bottom of the SEC.
This is where you're losing me. It's hard for me to count.
Here's the thing. Name one player on the Florida team.
I mean, you got me there.
Nobody on that team.
But I just think of them as they're not a program that we beat. Well, yeah, I think they're a program we beat in 2 years.
Yeah, but I think that this is going to be the weakest Florida team of the 2000s.
Yep.
I think if the Clark Lee's plan is going to work in the next 2 to 3 years, like we said, it's all about we don't expect immediate success.
By year 3, 4, you expect to be in bowl games.
I think by year 3, we're beating. We're not arguing about, we're not having a discussion. We're beating the South Carolinas. We're beating the Kentuckys.
Right.
We're beating the Arkansas when we play them.
Yeah. Arkansas was a good team last year, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
But
we're beating Missouri for sure every year.
Like
you said,
Missouri
is better.
When we can start chalking up W's and don't have to argue about Northern Illinois, it's worth.
Yeah. And if it's every year, it might be maybe year 3, year 4, and year 5, we'll get to bowl games 2 of those 3 years. That's great. I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here's my thing with this game. I think we beat Florida, but that would give it 6 wins in my book, and that feels like a lot. That feels like so many.
And to be we make a bowl game this year is a bold prediction. Yeah. It's a bold prediction.
I don't want to, I already tweeted this from my personal account and have said stupid things saying we're going to win so many games.
You said we were going to win 7.
Yeah.
And I still think I'm going to say 6
right now.
I texted him immediately. I got the notification he tweeted and I said, what 7 games on the schedule do you see us winning?
Yeah. Because I deflected it with the old, hold on, I'm busy, I'll text you back later. Yeah. And I didn't ever explain it, I don't think. I'm saying 6 right there. I hate to do it, but I'm saying 6.
The last game is versus Tennessee, which will be an
That's an L. That's 6 games. 6 win season, I'm saying.
Part of me, once you mentioned that last game that somehow I forgot about, would trade all of those games and lose all of them for a win at Tennessee.
Tennessee.
You would go 1-10.
I would go 1-9.
11
or 1-11. I think. Yeah.
What am I talking about?
I think it's 1-11, and
but the one is Tennessee.
To beat Tennessee, and if it's an embarrassing loss, even better.
Any loss to Vanderbilt for a Tennessee fan is embarrassing.
Hey, there was. I think it was a year or 2 ago. We were 5-5 against you guys in the last 10 years.
That's and now, actually.
Oh, that's right now.
Really?
But in fairness, we've gone through the worst stretch of Tennessee football in its history, and we're still 500. But
it's not history. It's not history. We're talking about now.
No, I think
you just said any loss to a Vanderbilt is an embarrassing loss.
Any loss to Vanderbilt is an embarrassing loss.
And you've lost 5 times.
We've had 5 embarrassing seasons.
Those 5 gross?
No, I remember what happened in 2016, and this is just me reminiscing on Vol's years. We started that season preseason number 9 with Butch Jones.
And I remember the fire Butch Jones signs.
Oh my God. I do too. And we were one game off of making the SEC championship, and then Georgia won on like a last-second touchdown and kicked us out of the SEC championship. And then we had to play Vanderbilt, and we lost. That stopped us from going to the Sugar Bowl.
Oh,
it was.
You guys are bums.
We lost that game with Josh Dobbs, Alvin Kamara, Josh Malone, who is going to be an absolute dog for. Oh wait, not Josh Malone, Josh Palmer, who is he's going to be a dog for the Chargers this year. I promise you.
But jeez.
Anyway, this is not.
So if the over/under for wins this season, and I'm making this up,
I think
is 4.5.
I think it's
if
lower
it was
I
that,
think it's lower than that.
You're saying
on
under?
the betting lines or
No,
2.5?
no, I think the betting lines are lower than that.
Well, yeah. But if it
I'm
is
taking the
4.5,
over.
I'd bet over.
I wouldn't bet over.
I'd bet over 4.5.
I don't know if I'd bet over 4.5. I'd bet over 2.5.
Depends on how much we're saying.
Yeah.
I'd bet over 2.5 on the season.
I'd bet over 2.5.
The thing is
I just said we win 6 games.
The thing is, we're winning the first 2 games, in my opinion, pretty convincingly. And then all we have to do is win one more game for the entire season. Yeah. I think we do it.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
I don't think we go 0-10.
We got 9 games. So we got to win one of them.
So there's 2 games and then 1 win against Missouri, South Carolina, Florida, Kentucky.
I think
we could.
Florida.
Yeah. One of those games, like
What are the odds?
Northern Illinois.
What are the odds that those 5 teams don't give us that third win? Are you kidding me?
0. I think
2.5 is a disrespectful over/under.
Okay, now I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
What do you think is going to be the bigger concern going throughout the season, the offense or the defense?
Defense.
Really?
Yes, defense. I don't think that we can cover an SEC wide receivers.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking more in the front 7. I don't think we're ready to compete in the trenches yet.
I don't think we're ready to compete in the trenches, nor do I think that we have the cornerback talent. I think that we're getting there with some solid freshmen, and some injuries in our front 7 is going to we already have people injured on the defensive line.
Yeah, we got Miles.
Davion Davis is coming back from an ACL tear. But he's going to be back later in the season, and he's good in the middle.
Yeah.
I had a class with him freshman year, and but I just our defense will be better, but I do not necessarily believe they will be good.
It's hard to say you can compete with the SEC because the SEC is the SEC.
Yeah.
The bar's so high.
But I think I could like what I was saying. I agreed with you that our defense is going to be. I don't want to say a weakness, but I think.
It's a weaker unit.
I think of the 2, we're gonna have more struggles on the defensive side of the ball.
I agree.
I think in SEC games, I could easily see us putting up 21, 28 points a game.
Yeah.
I think 2 weeks ago, I might have said I'm more concerned about the offense. I hate to say this, but with the depth chart that came out, I believe in the offense.
Yeah.
With Mike Wright being the number 1 guy, and in the most respectful way that I can possibly say this, Ken Seals being the 3rd, I think we're going to see more success offensively. Because I want them to play Mike Wright the whole season. I think splitting the season between Ken Seals and Mike Wright was not the move last year. I think it wasn't terrible, but I'm not a fan of it. I think Mike Wright has a better game. And you can't play at a high level consistently if you're changing quarterbacks.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not a sustainable. It's not a sustainable model.
You can't expect your guys.
We talked to Cam about that.
Exactly, and I think Julian.
Yeah,
because he said just the big difference is cadence because he's just blocking. Yeah.
I think that I think we have a top 6 running back room in the SEC. Mm-hmm. I think Ramon Davis, Patrick Smith, and Rocco Griffin.
2 of the 3 are
potential guests.
Yeah.
But I think that is one of the better running back rooms, and I think that our offensive line is going to be pretty solid. I think Julian Ben Cox are both very solid offensive linemen, and we looked at our depth chart, and I don't remember who the other guys are, but they're all very experienced. One of them was a talented freshman who beat out experience, which I almost
which you have to respect more,
which is almost scary to me though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they'll probably have a couple bad moments, but they'll grow throughout the season.
Yeah, in the long run, and then 3 years from now, they're gonna be really good.
But like you said before, clearly the coaching staff decide that Mike Wright is the option for this year, which I do agree with. I think he's our best shot at winning games.
You would see Ken Seals run a read option. And you're like, oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah. I love Ken, but that was a good one. And I think the key is just sticking with him. Where if
you gotta commit.
If like we said, we expect to win those first 2 games. If somehow if we lose one of those first 2 games, you don't go, okay, let's try AJ Swan, or okay, let's try Ken Seals again.
Yeah.
I think they're committing to Mike Wright. Stick with him throughout the year.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a big Clark Lee thing.
Yeah.
Like previous coaches, not to diss, what's his name again?
Derek Mason.
I'm dissing Derek Mason.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
What does he do now? Isn't he like the OC at some school?
I think he's the DC at Auburn.
DC. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. But like, I feel like that's more of a him move to just be like, we didn't win, get another guy in there. I think Clark Lee's more of like a strategy guy where he's like, we didn't win, but we cannot change it up. I mean, we're building habit and building
tradition.
Like, yeah, exactly.
I mean, he was DC at Notre Dame, and we saw the season they had last year. So,
yeah. Well, anyway, I think that's a pretty solid transition from football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How do we feel about basketball this year?
I think the biggest question is what's the team going to look like without Scottie Pippen Jr.?
That's it.
Who is going to be scoring the points for the team?
We're losing Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like by the end of the season, I believed in him less and less because he just straight up didn't come through in the SEC tournament. He did not come through in the SEC tournament. And we saw guys like Jordan Wright coming through really, really well. He missed 2 shots in the Kentucky game, and he was 11 for 11.
Which
that was a dog.
We said it. I think we said it off camera beforehand, but we should have won that game.
We should have won that game.
We should have won that game. We'll say it again. We've said it. We'll say it again.
We'll say it again.
Mm-hmm. Daily reminder that Vandy should have beat Kentucky.
I'll tweet that. I'll tweet that in a couple days.
That's
I'm actually not logged into Twitter.
I'll tweet it.
But it's a big
projected starters are. We got Liam and QMB starting.
Yeah, I was gonna say QMB. I think is gonna be
gonna be good.
One of the keys to the team.
He also seems like he's a great guy.
Yeah,
he just seems like a nice dude.
I want QMB on the pod.
I think he's gonna be one of the bigger presences on the court for the team throughout the year.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah, because he's old. I think he just graduated last year, so he's a 5th-year guy. So he's going to have the experience, and he's going to be the locker room.
We're gonna have a tall team because, in my opinion, we start Liam at the 5. Q at the 4, I think.
Yeah.
Jordan at the 3. Studi at the 2.
Yeah.
Even though Studi's 6.
He's 6'7".
He's 6'7".
Yeah.
He's
that's a tall 2.
That's a tall 2.
And then I don't know. Don't we have a pretty good freshman point guard coming in?
I think we have a freshman or a transfer. I can't remember. We have somebody coming in.
It was. I don't follow as much as football.
I have something here. Hold on.
I know next year we're getting Isaiah West, who is committed to Vanderbilt, who is the #1 player in the state of Tennessee coming to Vanderbilt, which is
that's
exciting.
And I think I was going to mention this about football before. Same point goes for basketball. When it comes to we're more than a year or 2 now into the Stackhouse era, so the drippiest coach.
Oh my gosh,
Jerry Stackhouse.
I need to say it. Just the suits are impeccable.
Always.
But the key to, I think, both of those programs, but especially maybe more football, is going to be recruiting over the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
How are we going to? Which it's a vicious cycle. You win games, you get recruits. You win more games, you get better recruits, and you goes on and so forth, which that's going to be a big factor in basketball too.
I had harsh words for Jerry Stackhouse around mid-season last season.
You did,
and
I didn't like it.
He shut me up real quick. I think that there was a while through the midpoint of the season where we lost games we should have won, and it really stopped us, in my opinion, from being an NCAA tournament team. But I think the back half of the season, as well as into the playoffs, whether it was the SEC tournament or the NIT, I think he showed that he truly did more with what some may consider less overall talent. I think that we should have beaten Kentucky, obviously, and then who knows what happens in the next games in the SEC tournament. And then, getting as far as we did in the NCAA and losing to the eventual, the NIT
and losing
to the eventual champions. I think that was a very successful run.
Yeah.
And I think that
it was further than I expected the team to go. And I think if you said, when the NIT started, I think if you said, I expect them to go that far, I don't know if I believe you because I don't think anybody really thought they would go that far.
No, yeah.
I picked them to go farther.
Did you?
I did.
Did you?
I thought we were going to beat Dayton. I thought we were going to go to the Final Four of the NIT. I guess I don't know if it's called the Final Four.
Yeah.
But
technically they can't because it's like a
I
trademark.
think it's yeah.
The fantastic. No, it's not trademarked.
That's all.
Yeah.
I can't say that either. But like you said, big question. What do we do with Scottie Pippen gone? I think Jordan Wright has to be the number one guy. We played in Europe this summer, and he put up like 20-something points every time and did really well. But in the season, he has to establish himself, and he has to be established as our scorer. Because my issue with the playmaking or the play calling and everything in the SEC tournament is that Pippen sucked, quite frankly. He did not play well, and we kept giving him the ball.
I think there were a lot of times where he seemed like he was just putting up shots for the sake of putting up shots.
If Jordan Wright is 11 for 11, I don't want anyone else touching the ball.
Feed him the ball. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Until they find a way to stop it.
Yeah.
And it brings a funny story I was literally thinking happened the other day. I was playing one of my buddies in Madden, and I was literally doing the same thing where it's like I ran the same play, and then he's like, "You got mad," and I was like, "Find a way to stop it."
Yeah, go on.
Like same thing like you just said about Jordan Wright. If he's 11 for 11. Clearly, what we're doing is working.
Exactly.
Why deviate from the plan?
Yeah, do not have anyone else score. Scottie Pippen's up there trying to make something go, and he's 2 for 20. And here he is 11 for 11 down there in the paint waiting.
The only reason that we're even in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Jordan Wright.
I think Jordan Wright last season was one of the streakier players on our team.
Yeah.
I think he had games where he was very clearly the number one guy putting up 30 points. And then he had games where he was barely
That's
existing.
the whole issue. He has to man up this season.
Yeah, he has to be more consistent.
Yeah, he has to get it done. And then beyond him, I think we have a really interesting thing with, I'm going to come to him next, but Miles. I think Miles can be like a 16-point per game guy. He's like one of the best shooters in the SEC. Easy. He's 6'7". He can move. He can defend. He can take it to the paint. I think
No, he can't.
He'll be all right.
No, the thing is Miles Studi is the Devin Booker of Kentucky for me.
I disagree.
Devin Booker, all he did was stand in the corner and shoot threes the entire time.
I think Miles Studi can do more than that.
I don't think he could last season. I think he might be able to this season. He didn't have when he put the ball on the floor, he didn't score.
Mm-hmm.
I think when he shot, he was amazing. I think he's one of the more consistent shooters, maybe even in the SEC. But he needs to, if he can develop like a pull-up game or something like that, he could be I think he could even be our number one option if he had that, to be honest with you.
I think next year he will be, once Jordan leaves.
All right, so another question for you guys. What's your expectation for the team this year?
I think that we're a tournament team.
I think so as well. I think so long as we're not...
I think we'll be better without Scottie.
I hate to say it, but yeah, I agree. I think Scottie Pippen...
I think we're a tournament team next year.
No,
I think for sure, next year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think easy, But
I think we might be a low seed.
So if I said this year we make the tournament, we lose in the first round.
I'm fine.
You're fine with that?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's our first.
I'd be happy.
Once I said that, I just thought I was like that'll be a first tournament appearance in how many years? So
yeah, if we're 15-2.
If we're a 15 seed, I think we're winning.
Yeah. That's it.
If we're 12, that 12-5 is deadly. Everybody knows the 12-5 is always where the upset happens.
I don't think we're hitting 12. I think next year we could hit 12.
Yeah.
I think this year we're sitting around 15. I don't think we'll be like a play-in team. I think we won't be
I would rather
16.
be a play-in team for the 12. You know?
Well, no. I think...
Do you think it's a crazier take that we make the tournament or we make a bowl game this year?
Bowl game.
Bowl game's a hotter take.
Bowl game is a hotter take than a tournament.
I trust...
I believe that we will go to the tournament. I do not believe that we will go.
Okay.
Yeah. I would bet in favor of...
No, we haven't gotten to baseball yet, but do you think that it is a bigger bet that we go to the tournament or host a regional?
I think it's more likely we host a regional. Just because of...
Really?
We have the greatest college baseball coach, arguably ever.
True. I agree.
I've said this before.
In my 2 years.
I call him the Nick Saban of college baseball.
Oh, yeah, we're the Alabama of college baseball.
Yeah, word.
It's just like, I think like we're almost at a level where hosting a regional isn't like that.
Well, we didn't last year.
I know, but I think we're gonna have a better year than last year.
Well, we're losing Dominic Keegan and Spencer Jones, which are two of our maybe 4 consistent hitters last year.
Yeah.
Like, I trusted Enrique.
We still have Enrique. We still have Parker Noland.
Yeah, and Park came on late, but he wasn't even playing at the start of last.
I feel like they didn't trust Park enough.
They should. I believe wholly in Parker Noland. He went to Farragut High School, which
Farragut.
is in Knoxville. So
is he the one who was like a 3-sport athlete? Parker Noland. I think he.
So I don't know. Maybe
there's a story.
Knowing Park.
There's one of them where I think Parker Noland. I might be wrong on this, and I'm not gonna stand by it. If
We're
I am
spreading
wrong,
I'll text him right now.
Yeah.
Hey Parker, are you a 3-sport athlete?
It may or not be Parker Noland, but I saw there was somebody on the Vanderbilt team within the last year or 2 or 3 years that had the Tennessee State record as a quarterback.
Wow.
I don't think that's.
That might not be him, but I remember I've
heard that before, but I don't think it's Parker. But I think, my projected, we can move to baseball because basketball is pretty much done.
Yeah.
My projected starters are Bolger catcher, Park at 1, Vastine 2, Diaz short, Rob Griffin.
He left.
He left?
He left the program. He's pulling an Isaiah Thomas.
I forgot we lost IT.
Yeah, he went to Florida. No, he went somewhere.
He went to Oregon.
I don't know who my third baseman is now. I'll come back to that.
So Davis Diaz?
No, because he's my short.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe I have one of our fresh. Oh, we didn't get anybody through the draft. Never mind. I don't know. We'll see. Matthew Polk is going to be somebody in the mix probably for first base. I'll move Park to third.
Yeah.
And then it's going to go
Enrique in center field, obviously.
Enrique, Hewitt in left, and then the transfer we got in right.
Do we still have Gavin Cassis or no?
No, he transferred. He went to South Carolina.
Oh, he did?
Bum.
He would be our first baseman if he was there.
That's what I was thinking because you guys
need that power.
I was gonna say put Cassis at first and Nolan at third, and then that helps the lineup out so much more.
Yeah,
but I didn't realize he was gone.
The thing is our power is going to come from if Jack Bolger gets better, Parker Noland.
The one thing that I like is that
Hewitt.
we've never been a team that relied on the home run ball to win.
No, we're Vanderbilt.
So yes. We'll steal home on a pass ball to win a game against Stanford. In the, I think it was the Super Regional, or was that the World Series?
That was in the College World Series.
I was in the College World Series at that point.
That was crazy.
But we do things like that. So if we don't have the most power in our lineup in the SEC, or
we're not going to, but that doesn't mean we're going.
But that's not a major concern for me.
Yeah,
that's not a major concern.
Matthew Polk and Jonathan Vastine have had great summer league. I don't know if you've been following summer league
baseball. I have a little bit.
They've had great hitting numbers, which is the most important because I know Vastine was already an SEC top.
Are they in the Cape Cod League?
They might be in the one right beneath it, the Northwoods.
Okay,
but they've had I think Matthew Polk was almost hitting 350. In the Northwoods. Yeah, considering he got all of maybe 20 at bats last season, if he can just come in and hit 300, that's fine for me. Yeah. If Vastine can come and stop hitting 118, I'm okay with that. He is already a top tier defender in my opinion. I think him and Diaz are going to be a really nice duo. I was really hoping Tate would come back so we could put Vastine at first, but he signed an undrafted free agent contract.
Good for him.
Wonderful for Tate.
Yeah.
Which he was back.
Another thing I have to say that I told you guys off camera, I'll look right into the camera and say it. Enrique Bradfield Jr. wins SEC Player of the Year this year.
I think that is the least hot take we said all day.
And Golden Spikes finalist. Or whatever I think gold is the award for top player of the year. I think he is going to tear it up this year. Do you remember last year?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Last year, just how did he break the stolen base record or was close to it? He was close to it, right?
He stopped stealing. What pisses me off, right? This is something that has made me mad consistently. Is in the New Mexico State game in the regional last year, not New Mexico State. Shoot,
The one we lost.
The first game that we lost, not the Oregon State.
That game, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
But the first game, we played some team that was kind of bad, and
it might have been New Mexico State.
No, I think that was in. Maybe it was.
I remember us playing New Mexico State for sure.
Then maybe it was.
It might have been.
I think no, because we beat them in the 4, and then we played the 3 after. I think it was a California team, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Is we were down 1, and Enrique got on first, and there were no outs.
The entire state at that point. The entire stadium should go. We all know he's going.
You're not going to stop him. We sack bunted him to second. You don't need to sack bunt Enrique.
Yeah, take a pitch, let him steal, or
just let him steal.
Let him steal, and then sack bunt him the third.
The thing is when we played them again and beat them and knocked them out, Enrique just stole the entire day, and it was like a casual steal. It wasn't one that was even remotely close. Yeah. And so there's not a catcher in college baseball, in my opinion, that can throw at Enrique Bradfield Jr.
I think it's been that way for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Corbs doesn't send him more.
I mean, I have to agree with you, and it's surprising because Corbs obviously loves to have a player like Enrique Bradfield Jr. I mean, any coach in any league ever would.
Who wouldn't?
But, and you think that's like his style of play. Like you called it Vanderbunt earlier.
Yeah.
And it's all about small ball. So why aren't you sending him more? It's a glaring opportunity.
It's the same concept as Jordan Wright's 11-11.
Yeah.
If Enrique was 40 for 40?
He was 42 for 42.
42 for 42? Keep going.
And the thing is I'm even okay with you sack bunting him to third and then
exactly.
safety squeezing him home.
Yeah. Or if you do a hit and run set, like sort of suicide squeeze where you throw him out at first, and by the time they throw him out at first, Enrique Bradfield's halfway to third, and then you can't get him.
Right.
Or just draw up something like that.
I'm okay with that sack bunt, and then immediately safety squeezing for 2 outs and a run.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, but that starts with Enrique getting on second.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating for me because I felt like even if David Diaz sack bunts him to third, I am trusting the fact last season that Spencer or Dominic Keegan would get a hit or at least hit a sack fly.
Put the ball in play. And the thing is, obviously, both of them have the power to do it, but it doesn't have to be a particularly deep
no, you just got to
not for Enrique.
All you got to do is not put it directly to the pitcher, and you pretty much have Enrique home.
Yeah.
And so,
do you guys remember when he scored on the pop out to the shortstop? There was one play.
I do remember that.
It was like
what game was that?
It was.
Was it Tennessee?
No,
it was. I forget who they played.
I was so sad we lost. I have Vandy baseball over Tennessee, even though I like Tennessee sports and every other sport. Yeah. I was so sad we lost all 3 games to Tennessee.
That was tough.
It was rough.
You went to the game with your mom too.
I did. It was rough.
Well, that's a tough time.
Yeah.
But I remember it was like a pop out to the shortstop, like just past the grass, just past the dirt onto the grass in the left field.
Was it South Carolina?
It might have been. It was an SEC game. I know that for sure. It was just past the dirt into the outfield, and Enrique was on third and stole home. Not stole home, tagged up on the sac fly, and it's like,
jeez,
yeah, you're like that just really happened.
That shouldn't be possible.
The Indiana State game last year was crazy. Did you watch that one?
I actually didn't get a chance to watch that one.
Oh my god.
Is that the one where
we were down?
Inning? Oh no.
We were down by 4 going to the bottom of the 9th, and it ended up with Spencer Jones hitting a walk-off. We scored it was the most insane midweek game I've ever seen. Which is hard considering we also had Michigan last year.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're talking about last year. This year
is
I think that our defense is fine. I really don't trust. I don't trust our offense all that much.
That's the issue.
But our defense is fine. I think our starting pitching with Holton, Futrell, and then I hope Dick Canch is our third pitcher because I don't necessarily trust Hunter Owen or Pat Riley. I don't know enough about Sam Leboki because he's had so many hurt, like he said, so many injuries. I just don't know enough about him.
I'm thinking we lost Chris McElwain, right?
Yeah, Mac.
We lost McElwain. We lost Christian Little, who I thought was going to be our Friday night starter last year and should have been.
He should have been. They shouldn't have had him coming out of the bullpen.
But Holton and Futrell will be good, especially if Futrell can.
I think you're not. I don't know if you're giving Pat Riley the credit he deserves.
Pat Riley. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Pat Riley has. It's like Pat Riley. Throughout high school, and I'm not like I like Pat Riley, and I want him to be so good, and he's like a first-round prospect next year. But I feel like Pat Riley, up until college, threw so fast that he didn't ever have to locate a pitch, and now he's learning how to locate pitches. And when he's trying to do that, he tries too hard, and then he walks 8 guys. Like I don't trust him to hit the zone regularly.
You wouldn't trust him. I was thinking he was going to be a solid everyday bullpen guy. Not every day, but like he'll give you a good inning or two of middle relief.
Here's how
in a weekend game or two.
I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with that. But here's how I want our weekends to go optimally. Holton goes 6 innings. You bring Thomas Schultz in for a dub.
Yeah.
Futrell goes 6 innings. You bring Maldonado in for a dub. And
Maldonado is just always been a favorite of mine.
And he had a bad year last year, but he's going to be good this year a little bit. I think he should be in the bullpen. I don't want him to be a starter.
No, I agree.
He's not built for a starter.
And then I want Sunday to be a Johnny Holstaff game of just like Hunter Owen. I want to see what he can do. Yeah. I want to see if Pat maybe has it in him this year. I want to see Andrew Duckhanch emerge because I want him to either end up being the starter Sunday or the midweek. Because both of those are important. Right?
If he could become last year's
the
Futrell, perfect.
I was gonna say I could see him as an everyday midweek starter.
Yeah, I think that's what they'll start him at. But I think he needs to be the Sunday starter eventually this year, and then next year we'll have one of the best pitching staffs in the nation.
Yep.
But I think that we win a lot of games, but I don't know if we host.
Yeah. What's the floor? What's the ceiling?
I think our ceiling is we're a national seed. I believe that.
I think our ceiling is a national title like it is. I think our ceiling almost every year in baseball.
I think that's what we have to.
Is a national title.
I forgot about R.J. Austin. R.J. Austin is.
He can play third.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's my bad.
He plays every position.
He's a utility infielder.
I don't think there's gonna be I hope I'm right. I don't think there's gonna be a year for the next few years where we go, we can't win. It's super unrealistic that we win a national title.
I don't think we win next year. I don't think we can.
I don't think in my opinion, lies on, like you said, whether the bats are on all year or not. Like
I don't think there's ever gonna be a year in almost any sport. Like even the year we did win it in baseball, I don't think I looked at the team and in 2019 and I went before the season started, we're gonna win the title this year.
Right. The thing is I don't trust Mike Baxter, who was our hitting coach.
Is he still the hitting coach?
He is.
Why?
Hey, So, fun fact about Mike Baxter. I don't know if you know, he played for the Mets before becoming the Vanderbilt hitting coach. I'm a diehard New York Mets fan. Before this year, this actual season, we only had one no-hitter in our entire franchise. And it was in 2012. Johan Santana threw it. And there's one play that Mike Baxter made that saved the entire no-hitter. He made like a crazy web gem play. So I will always respect Mike Baxter for that.
Well, great, but he can't hit.
But he was never a good hitter. He was never a good hitter. I don't want to say good hitter because he made it to the MLB. But he was never that was the weakness in his game. It was he could field, but he wasn't.
And so why is he a coach?
And he's the hitting coach?
Yeah, he was. It was almost like
our one main problem last year. I trust Scott Brown with all of my heart, mind, and soul.
Yeah. I trust when Corbin retires
for my.
I want Scott Brown to be the head coach.
Yeah. But I don't trust.
I don't trust Baxter
whatsoever.
I want.
If Mike Baxter takes over the head coaching job when Corbin retires, we riot.
The thing is, Scott Brown is already the assistant head coach. So if he doesn't get the head coaching role,
I'd hope there's a clause in his contract that says that.
I would assume there has to be like that Gonzaga
Tommy Lloyd thing.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think the floor is make it to another person's regional and be competitive in it like we were last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be a better team than we were last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it now. I think that we make it out of the regional no matter what.
You think we're in a super regional now?
I think even if we don't host a regional, we make it out. We'll be a 2 seed, make it out.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I could,
and if we lose in a super regional, I would be like that. We had a good year. Yeah. We had a great year.
The thing is we got decimated in the draft with how many people got taken. I was really thinking Ryan Clifford was going to get to school. I was really thinking Sal Stewart might get to school. I was thinking
there was
It was another Schultz, Noah Schultz.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna get to school.
There was a small part of me that I was just like, Drew Jones, don't get drafted. Just come.
Yeah,
just come play for us.
I wish.
Drew Jones. I know you're gonna be the number. I thought he was gonna be the number 1 pick. He was number 2
How is he
pick.
not? How is he not?
I thought he was
I don't believe in the guy they took.
Who ended up getting him number 2? Arizona.
No, yeah, the D-backs.
Yeah, and I'm just like, imagine being the D-backs GM.
You're like, oh,
like you spend so much time planning who you're gonna take after him, and you see he falls to you, and
well,
you're
here
like,
he is.
well, all of my work for the last like 2 months went to nothing.
They're for nothing.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, yeah, but that's.
Jeez.
I think baseball is gonna have a great season.
No, I think so. I think so too.
Yeah,
I think RJ
I'm
Austin's
optimistic for
going to be better than people think he is.
Yes.
Everyone's like he can't hit, and I think he will be able to.
Yeah.
I kind of. He's a top 50 prospect coming in the season. And I know that that's a lot based on his speed. Like he ran a faster 6-yard dash than Enrique did.
If anybody is going to be the next Enrique, it's RJ Austin.
Like RJ Austin is fast.
RJ Austin,
Yeah.
I could see RJ Austin ceiling having an Enrique type freshman.
So whenever I was like really getting into like the draft, I don't know how MLB draft works. So maybe you can shed some light on this. But they like have scores out of like 70 or something like that.
I'm not too familiar with the draft either. I know. I think like within the last few years they started doing an actual. Maybe last year was the first or second.
Yeah, they have a combine.
Yeah, they have a combine now where they like invite all. It's cool because they have. Not just the best college players in the game who are about to get drafted, but they bring in a lot of international players too.
Oh, really?
So you get to see like that sort of competition play against each other, and I think that that's really what a lot of the scouts have been focusing on lately.
Okay. The thing is, the reason I bring that up is because I think when I was researching it, and this was a few months ago, so I might be wrong, that it was like a 50 is the average MLB player.
Yeah.
And so they would give prospect scores and then like it would give projections. And I think RJ Austin's speed was already a 65.
Jesus Christ.
Like he is fast.
Yeah.
And so he's like Enrique. If he gets on base, I just want his spray chart to be base hits.
Yeah. And like, you don't need to pull the ball.
And the thing is like with Enrique, I think he fell in love with his power a little too much last season at the beginning because he was popping out like bad until the end of the season. Then he started going crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want him to hit.
At a point, it's a maturity thing.
And I want him just like I think everybody, obviously just like a general rule in baseball, but like especially for him, a walk's as good as a single. I think one thing he did a lot of the beginning of last year was chase pitches outside the zone.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah.
Up and out was
it was just he would if it was a lot of the times it would be like 0-2 count, you know he's gonna go high fastball and you know he's gonna miss.
Yeah.
So it's just like
at one point I started we have throughout last season of Show Em The Dore, I was so hard on Jack Bolger because Jack Bolger, I was at one point to myself calling the designated out. And
I've called so many players that before.
But then I had the Jack Bolger apology episode last semester because he started hitting like 350. And if he can just continue that, I think
we had
he'll
two
be...
Jack Bolger apology episodes.
That's one of the main reasons I've tried to be so optimistic on all my predictions here because I don't want to be like, oh
yeah, we don't want to have to apologize.
I want to be like, we win one football game this year, and then like somehow we make a bowl game, and it's like, oh look at these idiots.
Yeah,
but like
I'm okay with being.
I think.
What you say?
I'm okay with being an idiot.
We are.
Yeah.
This is not new for me.
So Spencer Jones.
Oh, you mean the next Aaron Judge?
Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones, after hitting for what, 1 year?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
like
always,
a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah, his first after like a year and a half of only hitting was taken at 25.
I mean,
what do we think he's going to turn into?
I think the Yankees are like. I called him the next Aaron Judge, almost not jokingly, but just like Aaron Judge is having one of the craziest seasons in baseball history this year. So I think the Yankees see him as being that guy of just like corner out, like right fielder who's like
they haven't played center.
Really?
They haven't played center in minors right now.
Wow.
They have him leading off in center field.
I guess he has. Does he have like?
He's fast.
I know he's fast. He
can move.
No, but I just didn't. I didn't expect. I thought they were gonna try and get him to bulk up, play right, and just have a cannon of not because he already does.
I mean, yeah, he's already hitting balls 117 off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is about Spencer is that he was always fast enough to play center field. One, we had Enrique Bradfield Jr.
So, like...
And two, he didn't always take the best paths to the ball. Like, I think if the Yankees can teach him to, like, more directly cut off balls, I think he could be as good of a center fielder as Enrique.
And if anyone can do that, it's the Yankees. I mean, I hate the Yankees and I hate to say it, but if anyone can do it.
I just think Enrique covers so much ground.
I think Spencer Jones with his stride, I would love to see Spencer and Enrique race. Because I think that we didn't let Spencer steal enough. I think
that's true.
I think that he could have been a 20-12 base
he
guy.
takes 2 steps and he's halfway there. He's huge.
He's 6'7", I believe.
So, yeah.
I thought he was 6'9".
He's
one of those.
He's 6'7".
I'm looking at him about him either way.
Yeah, we're still like, hello, Spencer, welcome.
But I think baseball's going to have a great year. I think that one thing that I truly appreciate about Vanderbilt sports that I don't know if it's the same other places, but I can't imagine it's as Vanderbilt, is that when people graduate, they are still very Vanderbilt-centric.
Yeah.
Like, I obviously, I've grew up around UT. UT players, like, come back for, like, a game, but it isn't the same as, like, I feel like if I saw Spencer or if I saw Jack on campus and I went up and said hi, they'd, like, have a conversation with me.
Yeah.
Like, they'd be like, oh, you're a Vandy student? Awesome. Here's what I did at Vandy, blah, blah, blah. It's not like they don't think that they're so much better than everybody else.
Exactly.
Speaking of, while we're on the subject of baseball still, how excited are you guys for Jack and Kumar in
I'm so excited.
They're
that's the only reason I'd ever watch MLB. That's not true. I like baseball, but like my problem with both the NBA and MLB is I find it so difficult to watch a regular season game when I know that there's either 81 or 181.
100, 162, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. Like, I just don't think any regular season game matters at that point. And I find it hard to watch. Like, that's why I like the NFL so much, is because if you lose a game in the NFL, you're losing ground. You know, like...
High stakes. If you lose this one basketball game, you got 81 left.
Yeah. I think the sweet spot is closer to college basketball, where it's like 35 or whatever.
Because that keeps it interesting. Like, you can drop a couple games and it's not the end of the world.
But like, if you lose 2 games in a row, you gotta start worrying.
You gotta start.
Exactly.
But anyway, I think that I have to watch Jack and Kumar whenever they get to the majors.
It's gonna be
a show.
It's gonna be something.
The rest of the league's in for a treat.
Goodness, because they're intense. I think that wraps up the sports talk.
Yeah.
We've covered the 3 really big major sports. We would go into detail to the other ones, but it's already been a pretty long episode. But in prime Show Em The Dore fashion, I think it's not a full episode unless we ask him some non-sports questions.
Of course.
Okay.
So we talked to the football players about the ice cream that they have before the games. They have an ice cream bar.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Awesome.
That's sick.
And they like have all their stuff, and it's like a competition. It's good. How do you feel about ice cream?
I love it.
Okay.
I know it's highly controversial. Favorite flavor is mint chocolate chip. I think it's one of the. You can't go wrong with it.
I agree.
Mint chocolate chip with Oreos in it actually better than just the mint chocolate chips, but mint is one of the most underrated flavors out there.
I do not. I don't hate it. I don't hate on people that have mint chocolate chip because that's one of my mom's favorite flavors.
It's not for you.
Not for me. Okay. I feel like I'm brushing my teeth a little bit.
I can't eat ice cream, but
he's allergic. I'm
allergic to dairy.
He's not lactose intolerant. He would still do it if he was.
But it would close my throat. Yeah. But like years ago, this is like semi more recent that I got it. Like years ago, I really enjoyed like mint chocolate chip. And I feel like everyone hates on it for
everybody hates it, and I just think it's time to stop the mint chocolate chip slander.
That's what I'm saying.
It's time to stop slander.
Cookies and cream is easily the top tier.
I'm also a big Rocky Road guy.
Rocky Road is slept on.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think a lot of people are turned off by the almonds in it.
Oh, no,
but I'm an almonds guy.
Yeah,
I'm also.
I think we've got almonds.
Any ice cream that has peanut butter in it is also a
top tier. Yep. Yes.
Yeah. You guys know what Brewster's is? That is a Knoxville thing, or have you ever heard of Brewster's?
I haven't heard of it.
Okay, it's like a Knoxville area like ice cream shop, and I think they make it like there, and it's really really good. And one of their flavors of the month, during the summer, it was a peanut butter one that they had pretzels in, and I'm telling you, it was a perfect sweet salty ice cream. It was delicious.
Wow.
I had it like 3 times. and like
That does sound very good.
It was very
That's
tasty.
incredible.
But,
so
yeah,
you've been on campus for a while. You've seen a lot
Yep.
of changes with dining halls, especially. What's the best thing you've eaten from the dining hall, and which dining hall is the best?
The best thing I've ever eaten from the dining hall. Good question. If I'm going like specific food, nothing beats the Rand cookie. I had one today.
There you go.
I had one today.
There you
It
go.
was just
where
like,
are you living right now?
I'm living in Tolman.
Okay,
actually.
okay.
Yeah. But nothing beats the Rand cookie.
There you
If
go.
I'm saying favorite place to eat, would probably be the pub.
That's
The
opening
pub's
this
back.
year.
Yeah,
That's opening.
Yeah,
The
it's
pub's
it's
back.
Pub's back this year. I saw it.
You say that like we've ever been. The pub hasn't been open since we've been in school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
and
is
so the
crazy.
amount of
It's
people
crazy.
that
I
have
remember.
like,
Hyped
been like,
up
you
the
don't
pub.
know what
I remember
the pub was
I remember
like.
the
And I'm
pub
like,
pre-COVID. It was fun.
That's it.
It was fun.
You can do it with meal swipes,
Yeah,
can't you?
yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
And like they would just have literally like you could get like buffalo wings, you could have like quesadilla, just like regular bar food. It was delicious.
That sounds awesome.
It was delicious. But
We're going to the pub.
what about you guys? Where's your favorite place to eat? I think a good EBI banh mi sandwich is hard to beat too.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Since I've been here after COVID, easily the best dining hall is Commons.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but yeah.
Well,
I think the fresh mix at Rand,
Top
we
tier.
ate every single day. for like a month.
I that's what I had earlier. That's what I had for lunch.
I could eat that day in
Yeah.
and day out the rest of the year.
the
if
beef,
it wasn't
the beef
so far.
barbacoa, delicious.
Yeah.
If it wasn't so
I-
far from where we live.
Yeah, we were in Village right now, and
Okay.
so
That's
a walk.
yeah. But the
Commons
best
is consistent.
Commons, Commons lunch,
no doubt. Commons lunch, like especially,
best.
yeah,
dinner.
not always great, but like it's one of the you're never gonna go wrong with it. You're never gonna go there and be like, oh, this is bad.
Do you ever do have you done like the takeout trays?
From Rand?
No, like just in general.
Oh! I saw them at EBI yesterday when I had dinner there, but I haven't done them yet.
No, it's like seriously, like you can get so much food with one swipe because everything's like all you can eat. So
Yeah.
you get one and you just like fill it up and then you can take it home.
Oh,
Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we just went to
Yeah.
Commons and got like a bunch of like extra chicken breasts so we can make like chicken
Oh,
wraps and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
at the
yeah.
house. It's a great
I
idea.
got that.
But the best thing in my opinion of every single dining hall on campus is when you go specifically to the common sandwich line, because Rand sandwich line is great,
Yeah.
but they don't have the two things that I get from the common sandwich
What'd
line.
you get?
First of all, I get a spinach wrap,
Oh.
and two, they have fried chicken tenders as one of the meats,
Oh, and you can put it in the spinach
and
wrap?
I do that and carved chicken breast and pepper jack cheese and then like my assorted vegetables,
Yeah.
and it is so good.
I'll say that. I'll have to try that.
You have to. It's so
pretty
good.
It's pretty good.
But yeah,
What's your favorite thing on the card?
Favorite thing on the card?
it tastes of Nashville.
Let me think. Depends what time of the day we're talking about. If it's
Dinner.
okay, Chili's.
Chili's.
Yeah, I
What a hot take.
I don't know why that was the first thing.
Are you upset about the 2 for $20 leaving?
I am. But I mean they have a bacon chicken ranch quesadillas that they are one of like I'm not gonna say it's amazing food, but like I go there and every time I'm like, this is delicious.
consistent.
Yeah, it's consistently good.
Also, they have the really, really, really cheap bad lemonade that I get
Oh,
every single
yeah.
time. Like the Minute Maid lemonade, I'll drink 8 glasses. And that's the only time I'll drink lemonade. It's great.
Jeez.
Um,
Have you ever been? It's gone now.
Yeah.
But there was a place called the Chicken Coop, which was formerly Sultan's, and it was
I remember.
above K-Bob's.
Oh, I know where it is.
Have you been there?
I've never been there, but I know
it was
that
the best wings I've ever had.
Oh my gosh, it
It's-
was so good.
It's right on 21st Avenue South.
was,
right there.
it
Yeah,
was.
or was,
They
yeah.
closed-
Yeah.
They closed it down last year.
Right across.
They're
right, like
across
across
town
the
now.
street from that Mapco.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to go up some weird steps around the back. It's also like a hookah bar, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so-
you gotta like,
sketchy.
yeah, you gotta,
It's sketchy.
you gotta like walk up the metal stairs.
Yeah,
in
the
back
weird-
room. I know
kinda
exactly.
creepy.
I know
All the
exactly.
weird
what
people
it is.
around there.
But it was the best wings I've ever had.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. And it's Arab people that run it.
There used to be my freshman year. I have no idea if they're still there, and it wasn't on the card. There was a little hole in the wall place right across the street from the strip where Roma and Satay and
Okay.
there's like a where the Smoothie King was.
Yes.
You know where the Smoothie King, where the
Yeah,
Rite Aid
yeah,
was
where that
years
is?
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a little place, like hole in the wall place right there. I forget the name of it, but I remember one of my friends recommended. They had this thing called poor boy steak, which was literally just like ground hamburger meat flattened into like a steak wrapped in bacon.
Holy moly!
And
what?
And it was like $8 or $9, and I was like, I'll try it, and it was like the greasiest food I've ever eaten in my life, but delicious.
Oh, I feel like it'd kill me, but that's so good.
Just like that with fries.
I would have a stroke, but that sounds.
That's what I'm saying. My heart is stopping.
That's how you want to go out. That's how you want to go out.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh God.
Chris, do you have any more questions?
I don't know if I do. I think we.
What's your favorite thing about Vanderbilt?
My favorite thing about Vanderbilt, honestly, probably the people. I mean, the city of Nashville is great. Like, just having it in your backyard is always a plus. But just like I think that about almost any place, it's like the people are what make it what it is, and we have such like a great community on campus that just like everybody's always embracing each other, and just like we said, sometimes we were talking about sports teams before, how it's easier to like criticize from the outside, but I feel like the vast majority of people here know like what, like either know somebody on the team or like or have some sort of connections to some sort of the teams, where it's like the inner workings of it, and you see that like there are improvements happening almost every day or every week, and that like we're building a culture of success.
Yeah.
Word. That's an incredible answer. On that note, I think if you could sign our jersey, we've got some signatures going so far.
Of course. On the back of the jersey, we have everybody who's ever come on the podcast signed,
including but not limited to
Spencer Jones.
So when you guys sell this at auction, we all get a cut of it, right?
Yeah.
Not even sort of. No.
You guys have a pen?
Yeah, he does. I don't know why he didn't get that beforehand.
Including
classic Show Em The Dore
Olivia Cooper.
Yeah, including my girlfriend. Try to press down a little harder. You're getting the thumbnail. Wait, hold on. Well, we have to do the thing where we're like super shocked again for the thumbnail. Just be like, all right, I'll cut it there.
There you go. We gotta get the clickbait in here.
Yeah, Lord knows we need it.
I told BCG about this podcast. It needs to blow up.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was going to try and draw the stool, but I still draw stick people, so I'm not.
I feel you.
Also, we have another gift for you, which you've seen before. But we made we have, for all of our guests coming on the podcast this season, we have made them Show Em The Dore t-shirts, and for you, you have the Barstool on the back of it, which is really nice.
This is awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Courtesy of Olivia Cooper.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
No, this was a great time.
Yeah, of course. And with that being said, we're gonna announce our special guest for next week right now.
Yes.
That's okay. You can do that because you did all the work.
Okay, boys. So let me tell you real quick. Chris and I work hard. Mostly me. I work very hard. Chris does his thing.
I do this stuff during the season. Willem does the off season stuff.
Word. I'm that off season. Call me J. Cole. So we have 18 more verbal commitments from special guests. We may tell people the whole list.
Let's just go week by week.
I don't know. But for now, what we can tell you is that next week, it'll be another special episode because Sasha Washington is our next big guest. She'll be coming on, talking about all sorts of good stuff.
Thank you.
Hold for applause here. It's going to be incredible. Our first female guest.
True.
It's exciting. Our first
female basketball player.
Yeah, because we haven't had a basketball one.
No,
so that's going to be really exciting. We're very, very excited for her to come on, and it's going to be a good time.
And we're also very excited that we've had David on.
It's been a heck of a time.
Here. This was so much more fun than I could have even imagined. I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah, and
he comes here. We're gonna
be collaborating. We're gonna be collaborating the course of the semester. And maybe if we have weeks that we don't have anybody scheduled, maybe you can
I'd love to come back.
We'll talk about that week in sports, and it'll just be a good time.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And so I think with that being said, we appreciate you guys. We'll be back next Wednesday. And see you.
This has been Show Em The Dore. You missed your line, Chris. This is the one thing we practice. See ya.
I was gonna plug one last thing.
Plug one
last thing.
We still recording?
Perfect. You think this was?
I mean, this just fits the theme of Barstool perfectly, and what I've got here, it's just like just doing things on the fly.
Yeah,
we're just doing things on the fly.
We're not professionals yet.
Just like we're always looking for new things to post. So send your submissions to our Instagram, Barstool Vandy. Same.
They'll be in the description of this video.
Yeah, perfect.
I think I've been featured. I think twice. I've sent you 2 things.
Perfect.
I sent him the screenshot of the group chat.
Oh,
from our
we're always looking for new content. If you want, we'll keep it anonymous. Don't post names or whatever. Just send stuff our way, and we'll be more than happy to post you guys.
Awesome. Well,
this
with
has
that
been
being
Barstool Vandy and Show Em The Dore. I'll steal your line. I'll steal it again, Chris.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
See you.